Disney Channel. Up until the mid 2010s, I used to watch a lot of Disney Channel shows. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Shake It Up, Wizards of Waverly Place, Good Luck Charlie, Jessie, Austin and Ali. You get the point. Disney Channel was great back in the day because not only did it have shows, it had movies. The most popular one being High School Musical. And I might be in the minority here, I never watched it. None of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many there are. The early 2010s was a rough time for a young boy. There's a lot of stuff that you couldn't openly say you liked because girls also like that stuff. Something like Justin Bieber or One Direction. If you didn't hate those guys, you'd be deemed the worst thing imaginable. Gay. But times have changed now, so I can admit JB's the GOAT. One Direction on the other hand, I can't admit. They had a few bangers though. Coming back to the point, I always put High School Musical in the same gay category as that stuff, so I never watched it. But I did watch one of the greatest Disney Channel movies ever made, Let It Shine. I remember coming home and waiting for this movie to air on Disney Channel. I don't even know why I was so hyped for it, but I was. The main protagonist is Cyrus, aka Chris from Everybody Hates Chris. He has a talent for rapping but hides it away from the world because he's a pussy. It's actually because his dad's a pastor, and I guess a more old-fashioned one. Essentially, he doesn't approve of the devil's music.
Rap is the devil's music and does not belong in a house of worship.
Honey, shut the fuck up.
I mean, in the very first scene, the service goes from this to this.
That shit is fucking trash, dog.
If this was the type of hip hop my ears were exposed to, I'd be on the dad's side as well. Anyways, Cyrus works at some club where they have rap battles and things of that nature. There we get introduced to Cyrus's childhood best friend, Chris, aka Chris Breezy. I mean, this guy's a Temu version of Chris Brown. The dynamic between Cyrus and Chris is the classic beta virgin loser and alpha smegma male. We also are then introduced to yet another knockoff character, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, aka Bling, is supposedly the best rapper. And with him being the best rapper, he's also inherently the bad guy. Throughout the whole movie, Nick Cannon pretty much bullies Cyrus and he calls him all sorts of mean stuff like Urkel. Cyrus enters a music competition hosted by Roxy, an old friend, who's a singer on the come up or something like that, but she's got some clout. Cyrus sends in his song, which by the way is straight fire. And for some dumbass reason, he sends in a picture of himself with Chris in it. In the picture, Chris is clearly out front and center of it. So as you'd expect, Roxy and the manager end up thinking that Cyrus's song was made by Chris. Well, it turns out that Cyrus's song ends up winning the competition, and when Chris is found and congratulated for it, he acts like it was his.
It's right there. On the beat is in the house. What's up? Evan Flow is here and off the street. We are in Atlanta to reveal our big contest winner.
Being the cook that Cyrus is, he goes along with Chris being truth. This is what basically sparks the main plot of the movie, where Chris has to pretend he's truth and Cyrus has to pretend he isn't.
Okay, she likes you because she thinks you're truth. So why don't we just keep letting her think that?
The best part about this movie is probably the music. Like genuinely, the soundtrack is straight fire. I usually dislike movies that are full of songs. I'm just not a fan of musicals in general. But I think Let It Shine is a good example of a quote-unquote musical done well. The only song I don't really fuck with is the Roxy one, but I don't really like it anyways. Why? Because she's stupid. The first time she interacts with Cyrus, she treats him like a punk.
Believe it, babe.
Chris, you look great.
Thanks.
And Cyrus, you look the same. I mean, exactly like you did in 3rd grade.
There's also the scene where she somehow can't tell the difference between Chris and Cyrus.
Chris, what are you doing in there?
It's easier for me to talk to you like this.
Yeah, but now you sound funny.
Fucking
come back
dumbass.
out.
I know the line was dark, but seriously, she even comes into the booth and doesn't catch Cyrus sneaking out.
Chris, I'm coming in to see you.
Yo, switch spots, quick.
There you are.
I'm all yours.
Oh, bro.
And the worst one is when she catches Cyrus rapping exactly like Truth, but still ends up believing that he was lip syncing.
That wasn't me. Miss Mike's not even on. See, I was just lip syncing.
Lip syncing.
Yeah, that's one of Chris's old tracks. Guess I'm not just his DJ, but I'm also his biggest fan.
Wow. You might just be the best lip syncer I've ever seen.
Fucking dumbass. Also, don't get me started on the drip. All her fits throughout the movie are straight ass. This is a bit of a tangent, but I didn't even realize until halfway into the rewatch that they got Chloe and Hailey Bailey in this. This movie has an all-star lineup for the cast. They got Chris Brown, Nick Cannon, Bernie Mac, and hell, even Theo Von and Super Hot Fire.
The question is, who thinks they have what it takes to bring him down? Man, I got this.
Man, I used to hate this guy when I first watched this. Everything about him, his face, his bars, the gap in his front two teeth, they did a great job with making this guy unlikable. Anyways, Cyrus and Roxy start spending more time with each other and grow closer.
That's funny. It seems like we have more in common than Chris and I.
Hilarious.
Roxy even comes to church one time and performs, but oh wait, Pops is not happy.
Many of us were raised the right way, but some of us just can't resist.
I mean, he was going in on Roxy. Well, after this, Cyrus's dad finds Roxy to apologize for blitzing her and ends up finding out that Cyrus works in the club.
Cyrus, may I ask what business you have here?
Listen, Cyrus, I need you to get to work. The place is a mess, and I'll never have it ready in time for opening.
How could you disrespect me like this, Cyrus? Do you know how this makes me look?
This isn't about you, Dad, okay? It's about the music. It's what I'm good at. If I wasn't doing this, I'd be disrespecting myself.
We will continue this conversation in private. We're going home. And don't make me repeat myself.
No.
This is important because we finally get to see Cyrus stop being a bitch for once in his life, and it's fairly satisfying. Whilst all this has been going on, Roxy and Chris haven't been connecting as well as Roxy thought they would have been, and I forgot to mention, but I think Roxy and Chris are a thing kinda. The movie doesn't outright tell you this, but it does allude to it. So Roxy does the next best thing and almost kisses Cyrus.
Maybe it's time you turned on the mic.
Fucking bitch.
Fast forward a little bit, Cyrus and Chris have a little scuffle.
And forget about your rapping skills, son. You couldn't rap a present if I spotted you a bow and some scotch tape. And you ain't nothing but a hater.
Oh, no!
You're on your own tomorrow. When everyone laughs at you, you'll see how it feels. I don't need you. I don't need nobody.
I woke up Chris.
Again, this is another example of Cyrus standing up for himself. Although Cyrus says Chris is on his own tomorrow, he still comes on the makeup.
Look, but the truth is, you deserve to be with Roxy. Besides, I'm not the guy she fell for anyway. It's you.
I mean, that's cap. I guess partly, yeah, she did fall for Cyrus because of the song and everything. But you know she saw Chris and prayed to God that he is truth.
My man.
Oh, not you two busters! Whoa, okay.
Well, listen up, Poindexter.
I know I said I didn't like Nick Cannon, but I have to admit, he's got some good insults. I think he called Cyrus a pipsqueak in one scene. That was pretty funny. Now for the juicy part, the reveal. Instead of Chris performing, Cyrus goes up to finally show his true colours.
Well, I'm that other guy. I'm just a shy kid.
As you'd expect, Roxy does not take this well.
Roxy, I'm sorry.
Also, one thing that doesn't really make sense to me is that the crowd does not give a shit. The first Truth song is fairly big. You can see it in the scene where Cyrus finds out our favourite character, Nick Cannon, is a taxi driver. It's legit advertised on the cap, but for some reason, the crowd isn't shocked at all. The movie doesn't even add any of the classic Disney sound effects. The only people who seem to realise is Roxy and fucking Bernie Mac. Like I said, Roxy does not take it well.
Fucking bitch.
You wanted the hot guy and the hot music all at the same time.
Wrong, Cyrus. It wasn't about his looks.
Oh, come on. I'm not going to go through this again, but it was definitely about his looks. Moving on, Cyrus is given the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to hand the award to Nick Cannon, and like the bastard Nick is, he calls Cyrus mean things like,
Me there, bus boy?
I don't get why he hates him so much.
You know, you don't deserve this trophy because you're not the best. I mean, you're not the best in Atlanta. You're not even the best in the building.
And just like that, the greatest rap battle in history begins.
Beat on the track is beef with the stacks. I got all the money that you.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
Here's a couple bucks, buy yourself a better outfit.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga.
I saw you last week driving a taxi.
This is the shit 8 Mile was inspired by, bruh.
I might be a bus boy, but you just got served.
So with that clear W, Cyrus ends up winning the award. Roxy's still mad though, like the bitch she is. But W wingman Chris convinces Roxy to stay for a bit longer. She ends up coming to church and yay, everyone has a jolly good time.
I woke up Chris Breeze.
Yeah, that's about it. I was gonna make this video just glazing this movie, but after the rewatch, I found it a lot easier to poke fun at it. It's still an enjoyable watch though, maybe because I watched it as a kid, but it'll always have a special place in my heart. I was gonna include Lemonade Mouth in this video, but I just don't think it would do well with me trying to make jokes about it, and I'm no expert on movies. I don't know any technical terms or anything, so even if I tried glazing it, it just wouldn't work well. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. See y'all later.